Good morning, children. Now, after completing all the properties, let's begin exercise 3.2, question number 11. Using properties of multiplication, find the product in each of the following. First part, 8 multiplied by 7,895 multiplied by 125. Now, let's begin the solution here. Here we will multiply those two numbers first, by which we will get number of zeros at last. That's why we are taking 8 and 125 together, and then at last we are writing 7,895. On multiplication, result is 1000 multiplied by 7,895. So on multiplication, this is the answer. So we have to rearrange these numbers and we have to multiply those numbers first, by which we will get maximum number of zeros. Coming to second part, 8,325 multiplied by 101. Now here we are going to use distributive property and we are going to separate this number into two parts in terms of 100. So 101 can be written as 100 plus 1. We have to write this number in terms of 100. So 101 will be written as 100 plus 1 in bracket. Now here we are using distributive property of multiplication over addition. So what we have to do there? We have to multiply this number which is outside the bracket with this first number which is inside. So 8,325 multiplied by 100. In between, plus sign. Now again the number which is outside, it will be multiplied by the second number which is inside the bracket. So 8,325 multiplied by 1. On multiplication, this is the result, and here on multiplication, this is the answer. And finally, let's add these two numbers. So result is 8,40,825. Coming to third part of this, 5,163 into 98. Now this number, it is close to 100. So we have to change this number in terms of 100. And it will be written as 100 minus 2. Because when we will subtract these two numbers, we will get 98. So here we are using distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Because the sign which we are using here, it is minus. Now let's begin the answer. The number which is outside the bracket will be multiplied by this first number, then minus sign. Again this number outside the bracket will be multiplied by this second number inside the bracket, multiplied by 2. Now on multiplication, here is the result, and here on multiplying these two, here is the answer. And finally, on subtracting these two numbers, we are getting the answer 5,05,974. So this is how to use distributive property. Coming to 12th question, using distributive property simplifier. Now this is the number here. Now here what we have to do, first thing we have to see that which number is common here. So here 397, here also 397. Now the common number will be taken outside, putting multiply by sign. Now what is left from this first term here? It is 27. In between plus sign. Now what is left from this side? It is 13. So 27 plus 13 in bracket. Now opening the bracket first, on adding them, result is 40. And finally, on multiplying these numbers, result is 15,880. So in the question, if it is given that we have to use distributive property, then we will use distributive property and then only find the answer.